What I found works even better is you give them two different options. Is there anything you would change about either the or the if you could?
We were socially retarded also.
Yeah, you were. I'm not.
No, you.
We're not the same.
Working night shifts 3 days out of the week and working 45, 50 hours like that. What's that doing to you? Do you have kids?
Not that I know of.
There are a lot of people that are just not socially intelligent to really express themselves.
Welcome to another episode of the Dynasty podcast. Today we're going to go over how to handle vague prospects and A-type prospects. Vague prospects, what do they sound like?
I don't know, just make more money.
Nah, just kind of like looking around, like seeing what you guys... I just saw the ad and see what you guys have. And A-type prospects meaning that, hey man, just tell me the price. I don't have time for this. I know what you're doing. We're going to go over why this happened, that you are doing or not doing that's causing it in the first place, what to do. Actually, we're going to have some role plays on how to handle it and why we're doing that.
Yep.
Let's go.
How do you like my sunglasses right now? It's a beach scene.
Every
episode, by the way, I'm going to unbutton.
Bro, you walked in, because we're going to beach club after, and you walked in. I'm like, dude, you're not fucking wearing that.
I mean...
And with those sunglasses.
It's a Riz, you know?
Yeah, and like he actually looks like a old one of those old successful Korean ladies that do MLMs.
No, do I look like Jackie Chan? Those ladies actually, they cash in because my aunt used to do MLM.
Yeah.
And her friend was doing like 130K a month.
Yeah.
Like people that, like for example, like they flex, oh, you never made like 100K a month or you never made 30K a month.
Yeah.
Look at my aunt's friend.
Yeah.
She's like,
she's
working like 1 hour. She's working 1 hour a day, literally. She's talking with like these old ladies. We call them the ajumas, you know? Like they have their own circle.
Yeah.
She sells like these cosmetics and she enrolls those people in. Makes 130K a month.
Savage. In the meantime, High Ticket Closer is doing these fucking crazy reframes and all that dick size marriage and contests. In the meantime, they're cashing in.
Measuring dick. Oh, you didn't make 30K a month. But what about my aunt's friend?
Exactly. And so make sure to subscribe, smash the like button. Let's get into it. So let's start with vague prospects. Okay. So why are they being vague in the first place? Why is this happening?
Sales resistance. 100%.
Okay. Oh.
And second of all, they're just people that are just awkward. Like they just don't know how to talk. Like we were socially retarded also.
Yeah, you were. I'm not.
No,
we're not the same.
You had to do a lot of cold approach to unretard yourself, basically. Are we still able to use the R word? I don't know. Whatever. Let's get it. Anyways, there are a lot of people that are just not socially intelligent to really express themselves. Even though they think about it, they cannot really express themselves also. So, whose responsibility is it to really train them?
It's the leads, bro. Leads are shit.
Oh, yeah.
The marketing. Fuck the marketing team.
The marketing.
Yep.
Fuck the branding.
Yep.
Yeah, everything.
Nothing we can do.
Nothing we can do about it, you know. So, anyways, it's our responsibility to train the leads on how to talk as well. So, sometimes you just need to command them, just be playful. Like, I mean, here's the thing. Like, also, like, in terms of DM setting also, right? Like, there are guys that are super flirtatious when they get on, like, Tinder or talk with a girl. But when they are, like, doing DM setting, they're, like, super formal. Like, they don't know what...
Or on a sales call, too.
On a sales call also. Like, just, I don't know. Riz? We call it Riz nowadays?
Riz.
Yeah.
As a cool kids call it.
Express it, you know? Like, just, I mean, like, just show the chat vibes, you know?
Yeah, what I found is that typically, whether it's the prospects or you or the marketing, doesn't matter. Whether the situation is, let's just control what we can control as sales professionals, right? Yep. Instead of just blaming on external circumstances. So what I found is this. Typically, when prospects are being vague, it could be the prospects. Also, it could be the salesperson that's causing and triggering it.
Yep.
As an example, the salesperson is kind of being, they look too serious. So it's the sub-communication. When they hop in, they're like, hey, how you doing? Yep. They're kind of like this, right? They may be doing that without even them knowing, right? It may not be their quote-unquote fault, but it's still the problem, right? Yeah. Personally, I was doing that when I realized, I didn't even know I was doing this, but later on, that Matt pointed out, shout out to Matt, and Matt was like, yeah, dude, you just don't look interested. And I had prospects tell me, like, from time to time, it's like, hey, you just don't seem that interested. Yeah. I'm like, I thought I was being interested. And then I rolled back the tape. I rolled back the sales call recordings. I'm like, oh, my facial expression.
Yeah.
KBF.
Yeah.
And so some people might have this because they look too serious. They don't have much facial expression. Or in their tonality, they don't sound curious, right? They're like, hey, do you know what you're looking for?
Yeah.
And so they're going to downward inflection. Whether it be them doing it without them knowing, or they're taught in the sales industry that you got to do downward inflection. There are times to do that, but in the beginning, you want to sound more curious and actually interested. You got to give people a reason to open up.
Yeah.
Because if you don't give them a reason to open up, they just won't.
Yeah. So have a nice smile.
Exactly. So first step is it's gonna feel fucking fake, but you want to smile.
How does my smile look like right now?
It's like worse than Joker. Yeah.
Hey, how's it going, dude?
Dude, I would hang up. I would hang up. Nope. I would hang up and then give a 1 star on the Trustpilot. So I found that we found that it helps us smile, right? And then obviously you're teaching that to your students. I'm like teaching that to like my students. You're like, yeah, smile. That helps you open up because when a prospect hops on a Zoom call, sales call, whatever it may be, they're a bit guarded off, right? Like they never met you. They probably saw some ad from the internet. They're like, what's gonna go happen? Is this kind of person like hard close me? So you're gonna have a more welcome. You're not being limp. Big difference there. You're not being limp. You're still coming off confident, but also welcoming.
Yeah. There are a lot of people also like struggle with like getting Zoom in. They're like, I apologetic. Oh, I'll never use Zoom before, so they're kind of like
Baby
like
boomers.
already confused. And you're like, no problem, like welcome in, right? Like what I found also is that the body language matters because you're not on a, real setting like this. You're on a Zoom call setting, so there are so many things that you can show, right? At the end of the day, it's just your body language, your face, and how you talk, right? What I found is that a lot of people like they sit down like this, So where are you looking at right now? You're looking at the ground. Also, first of all, your eyes over here also on the table, and your voice is also going down, right? So if your voice is going down, also, what does that exhibit? Lack of confidence, also lack of conviction. Because if you're in a normal setting, like for example, if you're a girl, no.
Thanks,
why does it have to be? If you're a girl, I come up to you and I'm like, hey, like, can I meet you for a second or so? Right? Nice opener. Can I meet you for a second? And then I'm like, can I meet you for a second? What are you gonna tell me? What are you gonna tell me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So always exhibit like an open body language, right? When you're welcome in. So stand up. Like this was what I was taught also, and I don't know if it's true, but I think it's pretty true. Like if you have a standing desk, you're more animated. You're more open also.
Yep.
And your closing ratio goes up just because you have the energy, because you're free to do whatever you want with your hands, with your body language also, with your facial expression as well. Your facial expression also changes because it's physiology, right? It's all connected. So the energy you give out, you always receive it back. But if you give out this energy, hey, how's it going, Brian? Yeah, cool. What are you gonna get?
Yeah, exactly. I found that you could have the best questions on the script, and I had that, right? I got to a point where like I knew all the questions in the script. I knew down pat. I had 5 different ways of asking the one question in different ways, all the reframes and all that kind of shit. But people still being vague, or like sometimes people push back. It's not the word. We all hear this. It's not about what you say, it's how you say it, but it's true because this is how we interpret it, right?
Yeah.
So that was one of the biggest things. And also another thing I realized is people are they sound scripted.
Oh.
It doesn't seem like a normal conversation. As an example, like I'll ask they'll ask the questions to the prospect will answer, and the salesperson will be like, got you, awesome. And just curious, do you talk like that with your best friends?
No, you interject also. You have to be, like, if you're a leader, you have to be actively listening. Like, you have to be proactive in the conversation. Like, we're taught to, like, this 80-20 rule of, like, listening and speaking. That also applies, but applies on the premise that you're proactive in the conversation, that you're leading the conversation. So, it's example, like let's say, like, hey, do you like what you're doing right now for a living? And then you say, no, I don't like it. Oh, why not though? Like, I'm just being proactive right now, coming up with a question right away. Like a lot of you probably see it a lot of times also. A lot of people like to add fluff, and then build up their question, because one of the symptoms I pointed out is that they haven't memorized their question. It's not in their animal brain, so they're thinking of their next question, but during that time they need to fill up the gap. So they're like, oh, that must be so hard because, usually like metabolic system, it doesn't work that way, right? And it has these type of symptoms. And then now they found their question in their mind, and now they're asking. So it's a symptom of not internalizing, mastering your questions, your script also.
100%.
What do you think?
No, 100%. It comes from the pre-work. Because like if you know exactly where to go, you're not doing that, right? You're where do I go? And what that happens, like now it doesn't seem conversational. Now in your tonality, in your sub-communication, you don't come off certain. And because that prospects feel like they could overpower you, that's when they're either being vague, they think they can get away with it, or they're being like, dude, like just how much does it cost? Like get to the point. Because you're not getting to the fucking point with your question.
Yeah. And especially like in B2C with with people that aren't really used to talking with people, aren't really used to like negotiating with people, like you can get away with that, you know, but with A-type or business owners, like they can smell it from a mile away. At the moment that you're incompetent, you show you're not prepared, you're eaten up.
Yeah. It's kind of like a shark in the ocean.
Yeah.
They smell blood and they're fucking getting after it.
In order for you to in order for you to fight a shark, right? Go against a shark or collaborate with a shark, whatever it is, right? You need to be a shark.
Yep.
Sharks want to hang out with sharks. And people think, oh, like NPQ questions, they're so saturated, right? Like everyone knows these questions. Cliche is cliche for a reason. Like they will follow your lead even though they know where you're going, if they know that you're good.
No,
and
100%.
Have with a smile.
Dude, I sold to salespeople for 2 years. They think they know what I'm doing, right? They know NPQ because they saw the videos. I still sold them, right? Because it's not about the NPQ, whatever methodology. It's just your execution of it.
Yeah.
It's just the execution of it. So the pre-work, you got to know exactly what answers you're trying to get from each question, each part of the sales interaction.
Oh, 100%.
You got to know, okay, what are we trying to do here? I'm trying to find the overarching desired outcome, where this person's trying to go. From here, I'm trying to find a tangible problem. For what I sell, they sound like this. They're not making enough money. They're not losing weight, whatever it may be. You got to have that for each part of the sales interaction.
Then how important is it to not move on until you get your questions answered? How important is it?
Very important. So it
Why
goes
you say
both
that?
ways, right? Because what happens is either like the prospect will already answer it, but the salesperson is just asking the next question in the script. And then now the prospect feels like they're not really answering or listening. Or the other end, which is they didn't answer the question, but they just move on to the next question in the script. And now that's going to bite them in the ass because it's going to come off as, yeah, that sounds good. Let me just think about it. Because they haven't found the actual problem or whatever they needed to get from that section.
Yeah. And I say this all the time. Sales is like chess. The more moves you waste, the more like you have. It's like you're at a game and you have this health point HP, right? And then the more you like, for example, show that you're not like the more you're showing that you're not listening to them, the more your life point actually decreases also. And there's a certain point where the report is completely broken also. And you want to be careful that you don't actually like lose that. It's like even Matt Ryder said, right? It's like sales resistance, like you want to keep it neutral so that you save it up till the sales pitch.
Yep.
Right? Because one of the good examples is like, hey, what got you interested in booking a call here today? Oh, I just want to make more money because I've seen James, the influencer, and he's worked in the construction side, and I work in the construction side also. And I see it from going from 0 to 100K a month. So I think I can do that. Oh, okay. What are you doing right now for a living? Dude, I know that's the next question, but he already said it. He's working in construction.
Yep.
Right? But that happens all the time. That happens all the time.
Yep. And like those add up, right? That's
Those
5,000 cuts.
Yeah. So at the beginning, like they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I told you." But as they keep on repeating their answers, they're like, "What is this guy doing?"
Yep. 100%.
It's like HP, right? Like your game is slowly your points are decreasing. You know.
Yep. So let's do a role play. Let's start with vague prospects.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'll be vague because I know what they sound
vague.
like.
Yeah. The KBF. So hey, Brian, what got you interested? Oh, the KBF. What got you?
Let's do what's a good example? Let's look at BizOp for example because a lot of people sell BizOp.
Hey,
so.
yeah. Well, what got you interested in booking a call with here today?
I just saw the ad and just kind of want to check out what you guys have. Just kind of like scrolling through Facebook. It seemed like, just kind of like check it out.
Okay, and for you, like, what are you looking to achieve with something like this? Like, what's the outcome that you're looking for?
Everyone wants to make more money.
Well, like, you're not here to make less money, and making money means different things for different people. When you say making more money, like, what does that look like for you?
Right now I'm working a job. But what I want to do is start getting some side income so I can actually leave that job.
Gotcha. And since you're looking to leave your job, well, what do you do now for a living?
I'm a nurse.
Nurse. How long have you been a nurse, by the way?
Forever.
Like forever in terms of? How long?
It's like 5-6 years ever since I got out of college.
Years.
Yeah.
Okay, about like 60 months, 72 months. Yeah. Well, help me understand. Like, what's the main reason you're looking to start a business like this rather than just, I don't know, keep on working, get a promotion and just, I guess, get out of your job, or maybe like find a better job and just make more money and get out of it, you know?
I mean, I could. I mean, I'm doing good in my job already. I just want to see like what else is really out there because like, why not?
Why though? Why? Why are you so
Uh,
curious?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's always good to have like another stream of income. You know what I mean? Kind of like diversify your income because, like I said, I'm doing good in my job. It's just that, just why not?
So it sounds like things are going fairly well. Like, what will you change about your current situation if you could though?
Probably make more money and more freedom.
More freedom?
Yeah.
Freedom. What do you mean by freedom when you say freedom?
Probably more like time freedom because obviously, working as a nurse, I have to be there at the hospital, and also I have to work night shifts from time to time.
And what's obvious to you is not obvious to me. That's why I'm asking. But I guess for you, like, how many hours are you working right now per week?
Like 40, 50, which isn't bad, but it's just the night shifts from time to time. That's the that's kind of the
And
situation.
how often do you work on night shifts, by the way?
About like 3 days out of the week or so.
3 days out of the week. And I guess working night shifts 3 days out of the week and working 45, 50 hours like that, like, what's that doing to you personally?
I mean, after the night shifts, I don't know if you ever work night shifts, but after that, I kind of feel almost kind of jet lagged.
Jet lag? What do you mean?
Yeah, because you're working until like 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and after that you kind of sleep until like 2, 3 p.m. But you get 8 hours of sleep, but like you're kind of still kind of tired. You know what I mean? So,
And how's that impacting you personally? Also, like feeling tired.
yeah, I mean, just wish I had more freedom because after that I don't want to. Even though I have like a day off, for example, I don't really have the energy, or I don't really want to hang out and like go into social events and things like that. Yeah, so.
And what happens if you keep on feeling tired like this, though, and you never really go to these social events? And miss out?
I think it would have a bit of an impact on my health.
In what way?
Because obviously I'm a nurse, so like it's kind of ironic, right? Because I'm trying to help other people become healthy, but me myself is kind of going through this situation. So if my sleep schedule is kind of like that, then obviously it can't be good.
I think we could pause here.
Oh, good. Cool. So break down what we did there.
Okay, you can break down as a prospect. First of all, how did you feel? Because I kind of sped up also because we're trying to make this on time as well.
Yeah.
But how did you feel as a prospect? First of all,
just chill. Yeah, just like what happened was I was being vague, and then you're just like, okay, but what about this, right? And even though you technically cut me off, interrupted or interjected, whatever the word you want to use, but okay, but what about this? Because your facial expression and your tonality sounded like, oh, I'm trying to understand. What about here? It didn't feel like I was being cut off. It's just like you're curious, and you just want to know more. So I wanted to expand more.
because I cut you off, not because I had my agenda. I cut you off because I care about you, because I want to know more about you. And it's relevant to your current situation, relevant to what you're going through. That's why it didn't feel like cutting off. Also,
100%.
because when you're talking with friends also, and it happens in the podcast also, like I cut you off all the time. I don't think you cut me off, I cut you off all the time.
Probably.
Because I'm genuinely interested though. So also at the same time, there's a lot of things that I've done also. Like got checked on your language pattern also. Obviously, and I told you what's obvious to you is not obvious to me. And it was a nice smile, right? So I trained your language pattern over there also. And I said, well, I'm not talking with everyone here. Everyone, and then was said, like, people make money for different reasons. So I want to know more about you also. And then also, I didn't add on any fluff. I was genuinely proactive, engaging in the conversation. Because like prospects like this right now, the moment I hesitate, the more I'm like, oh yeah. Oh, by the way, what's the price for this? Like just those type of questions just come up right away. So I was like, oh, what? Wait, why? What do you mean? I just made my questions super short also. And these techniques so the technique itself is easy because you just have to ask why, how so, what way? Or what do you mean? How do you mean, right? But this technique will take time because you need to memorize your script, first of all. You need to proactively listen to your prospects, and you need to listen to keywords and also filter out the words that aren't relevant also, right? So cutting off people also and being concise with your wording also, that skill takes time because it needs to be on your like animal brain. It needs to just be within you. And I've done this for 4.5 years, right? 4.5 years can be a baby, but in the high ticket space, it's a pretty long space, long time. So for me, like it comes off naturally. Like I know where I need to go also. because I use different types of training also, right? I use a two truths question also in the middle as well, right? I asked, first of all, the rationale question because Jerry Minor says save up the rational question later down the road. I asked the rational question at the beginning because that's what Marco taught me. And then you still... Here's one thing I want you to elaborate on also. I'll give you the chance on this. You gave me an outcome rather than a problem when I asked you for a problem. I want you to talk about this, first of all.
Yeah, 100%.
What did you do over there?
Yeah, so you asked me about, I can't remember the exact incident.
So I asked you, hey, what's the main reason you're looking to start a business rather than just like get a promotion and
So
just like speed up that process? You know?
From there, you're trying to find a problem, right? That's the reason why you asked the question. But I told you a desired outcome, which is I'd like to have more freedom. I'd like to make more money, but that's not a problem. A lot of closers mistake this. They think that's the problem, so they move on. The situation with that is this. That's a desired outcome, but okay, from they're here, they're trying to get to here. If they don't feel like they have a roadblock, aka problem, they don't feel like they need a solution.
Yeah.
So you sat there and asked different ways of asking the question to actually ultimately find the problem, which is what I was working night shifts, it was going to impact my health, all that kind of stuff.
So the rational question I asked you for a reason because number one is because I want to pre-handle do-it-yourself objection. I'm going to get a better job type of objection, first of all. And second of all, I want to get a problem. But you gave me another vague answer. I want to just make more money. So I asked you why one more time. And he was like, it was another vague answer. So but it's pretty fair. It's pretty fine. It's going pretty fine or something like that, right? You're justifying your position. So it's like, okay, so I use your wording again, right? And I use the two truths question. So it sounds like everything is going fairly fine. I mean, is there anything you would change about your current situation if you could, though? So I went a little bit more on the flexible route there to make sure that I actually get a problem. Because what do you want? Because also, I mean, Michael Oliver or Jerry Minor said it, no one's 100% content with their situation.
Oh, yeah.
So I use your wording. I was not trying to necessarily dig in. I was like, okay, sounds like things are going fairly well with you. Is there anything you could change about your current situation if you could, though? And I put a smile on my face also. I don't give a fuck. I'm unwavered. Whatever you give me, I don't give a fuck. And it gets you to open up also, right?
Yep.
So that's, I guess, how we kind of dissect it and analyze it. Well, you want to do your role play also?
Let's do that. Be vague, and I'll kind of show like different. It's kind of similar, but like there's different ways of going about that as well. So we just want to give different examples, right? So let's take a different offer. Let's just say it's like business coaching. So you're a business owner trying to grow your business, right?
Yep.
Let's just say you have like a clinic or whatever it may be.
Yep.
All right, cool. Hey, Jun, can you hear and see me okay?
Yep.
Cool, man. Yeah, it looks like you booked on the calendar, but possibly growing your business so you can make more money. Is that right?
Yep.
And just so you know, I have a severe case of KBF, Korean bitch face. So if I look pissed off, it's not a you thing. My Korean mother threw slippers at me, so I just felt a no look, just so you know.
Okay.
Yeah, but so ultimately, what kind of outcome are you trying to achieve from your business?
I don't know. I just want to see what you guys do. I mean, the ad said get more clients, so I just booked in.
I mean, we're not that cool, right? But what kind of help do you feel like you need in your business specifically in order to actually grow?
I mean, just lead gen, lead gen.
Okay, what are you doing to generate more leads now?
I mean, just referrals right now, really.
Okay, how long have you been doing that?
I don't know. Just maybe, I don't know, 2 years, 4 years. I don't know.
Is it working?
Yeah, it's going good.
Okay, let's start with the positive. Right? It can't be all bad. So what is working?
This is a good question. What is working?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, our closers right now, our sales guys, they're closing at like 80-90% because of referrals.
Okay, so they're smacking leads, right? So it sounds like it's all going Gucci. So is there anything you would change about either the way you're generating the leads or, I don't know, I guess the outcome you're getting from it?
Diversification.
What do you mean diversification?
I just want to diversify also.
Okay. What have you seen in the results with your lead generation process that has you looking for a way to diversify your way of generating leads?
I love that question. Well, I mean, referrals are kind of, volatile.
Volatile?
Volatile in terms of like just sometimes there are good months, sometimes it's just not something that's trackable.
Not trackable? What do you mean?
Not trackable in terms of like you don't know how many leads you're gonna get in every single month.
Okay. What does that do to the business?
I mean, it's hard to track how much we're gonna do in the next quarter, and like we cannot even prepare for the next quarter because it feels like we're just relying on luck.
And what does that do?
I mean, it's getting me a little anxious,
Anxious?
Anxious, yeah. I just want to have a better process in place where it's just like I know where my leads are coming from, And
But what do you mean anxious though? Because that's no bueno.
Anxious in terms of I
Yeah.
just want to wake up and have clarity that like everything's all set. I know where my leads are coming from.
Yeah.
And I don't have to struggle for like inconsistent months, you know.
Are you kind of struggling a bit now?
I mean, not necessarily struggling. It's doing well, but I know I can do better though.
How long have you been feeling that way?
For about like 10 years, you know.
10 years?
Yeah.
How could be some trouble? All right, pause. So what do we do there is it's kind of similar to what June was doing if you kind of break it down. So you're kind of being vague. Just like whatever, right? Just saw the ads.
Yeah.
But so how you want to start the sales call is how I found it is how I do it is like it's kind of like a marketing funnel, right? So you start broad.
Yeah.
And then you start to narrow it down more and more and more because if you start to narrow at the top, then just gonna like it's too much for them.
Yeah.
The person, right? They just met you, they just hopped on, they're like, what do you mean? So you want to start broad, kind of playful, kind of light, unfazed, same thing as June was doing, right? As a salesperson, you're not allowed to feel flustered.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to feel awkward, right? Nothing fucking phases you. Even if it's an unexpected situation you've never faced, you're unfazed.
Just joke about it, you know? Best way to just go about it, for example, let's say like, I stutter a lot, by the way. I'll just be like, hey, I stutter. Hey, I just do that. You know, like how Marco like points it out, you know, like his accent. I'm like, hey, sometimes I stutter because like I just have brain fog all the time. There's so many things I want to say, but like, I mean, I just don't, so it's ADHD. So just, you're just talking with a crazy person, you know?
Crazy person.
Crazy Korean person, you know?
Crazy Korean person. Yeah, exactly. So you started like, just some ad, right? Now, I didn't take that at face value. We still need to find the overarching outcome. Typically for business coaching, making more money itself is not tangible enough. The reason why, here's my philosophy on it. The reason why in BizOp, making more money and like having more time, that itself is like good enough, is because they don't understand the intricacies of that new business model, what they need help with.
Yeah.
Right? So if they're trying to start an Airbnb business, they don't know that they need help with pricing strategy or like closing deals, right? They don't know that. So all they know is like make more money, have more time, which is why that's good enough. In a business coaching, they already have a business, right?
Yeah.
So they gotta know, is it the lead gen? Is it the sales? Is it the operations? Whatever your offer solves, right? You gotta find the overarching outcome. So you said lead gen. So what did I do there? Oh, what are you doing to generate more leads now?
Yeah.
So I take the answer you gave me, threaded and segued into the next question. What are you doing to insert whatever you just told me now? Bring it. What that does is makes the conversation more poignant, and it demonstrates to the other person that you are listening without having to do the whole salesperson thing, which is, okay, so what I'm hearing is that you want to generate more leads, right? They just fucking said that. Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Because they're thinking of their next question already.
Yep.
Like, I mean, because the easiest way to just segue is, for example, I said, hey, I'm looking for lead gen. Since you're looking for lead gen, what are you doing? Since you're looking for XYZ, or since XYZ, what are you like?
What do you know about that?
Yeah. Right? Like, it's just, you just need to use their language.
Exactly.
At the end of the day. Like, for example, like, how long have you been wanting the results? Instead of asking that, how long have you been wanting to retire yourself from your job so they can spend more time with the kids? That lands better also. Because sometimes, how long have you been wanting the results? Results can mean different things also in the conversation as well.
Yep.
And they give you like the answer that you haven't expected because you haven't made it clear enough for them also. So it's your job, as much as you want your prospects to be specific with you, again, you're mirroring, right? It's a mirror at the end of the day where you have to be specific with your questions as well also.
Yep.
Because like it's, again, you're funneling people down to specific result. To funnel down to specific result, then I mean, because I like how your brain works. Our brain works is that we have a tree in our mind, right? We have a tree. We segue, like there are different type of like, I guess like selections of questions that we can choose from, and we think about our next 5 moves. That's how we think, and then it just comes down naturally, and then it's just all comes down to the sale or the objections, where okay, this guy needs to be followed, right? Yeah,
we know where to go depending on the answer. It's kind of like you're playing like card game, right? And then you have these cards, and like, okay, these are the cards I'm dealt with. So, because no conversation is going to be so perfectly, I say this, they give me the perfect answer. Because if we look at the role play, I said, is there anything you would change about X or Y if you could? I learned it from Matt Ryder, which is in the traditional 2 truths question, is there anything you would change about it if you could? I tried doing it that way, but what I found works even better is you give them 2 different options. Is there anything you would change about either the process or the outcome if you could? Is there anything you would change about the way you're generating the leads or the outcome you're getting from that if you could?
Why does that work better?
Yeah, because what that does, like now, they have something to attach to give you the answer. It's not too broad. You're becoming more pointed, right? It's like, it's taking too long to generate the leads, or it's kind of, you said like volatile, right? And so, or in the beginning, you gave me like a vague answer. You're like, I'd like it to be more consistent or whatever you said. Now, that's still not a problem. The question I'd like to ask is, what have you seen in your area that had you looking for desired outcome?
Yeah, that's my favorite question because like I think that's a trademark question from Marco.
Yep.
What have you seen so far in your life that made you feel this way, or made you feel like you want to get some outside help with that? And it's like what can you say? You have to say you have to tell your problem. Like I felt like the certain vibe. Like what I said, Anthony made me feel that way. I was like, oh shoot, it's a role play. I got to be difficult, but I cannot be anymore. It's like I know where you're going, but I cannot do anything about it, really.
Yeah, exactly. Because the way I learned from Mark, how I interpret it is like, hey, what have you seen that makes you want to get desired outcome? I found that they get some answers, but sometimes prospects get confused, like what you're referring to or what I was referring to. So what I inserted there, hey, what have you seen in your area that has you looking for desired outcome? What have you seen in your current lead generation strategy that has you looking for a more consistent way of doing it?
Yeah.
What have you seen in your job that had you looking for a way to diversify your income?
And if someone says, for example, like working hours, what have you seen so far in your working hours that made you feel like you want to get out of your job also?
Yeah, exactly. So now you're like, now exactly what you said. Now they're almost in a bind. They don't have much wiggle room to like kind of escape into like a more vague answer because what have you seen is a visual word. So they have to visually go back into that time, their job, the way they're generating the leads, the way they're losing weight, whatever. Yeah, I'm working too many hours. Yeah, I'm not losing weight fast enough. Now you start to get problems.
Right. And also at the same time, you're eradicating possibilities because every question has a possibility of not landing also, even if it's the perfect question. But you're going with the route of having the most possibility of getting the outcomes that you're looking for, right? And what you've done, for example, if you just ask, do you like that, right? Like, it opens up so much possibility where you're like, yeah, I do like my current strategy. Like it opens up so much possibility that but if you're like, do you like the way you're doing lead gen, for example? I just literally blocked it into one section and eradicated all the possibility of going somewhere else, you know?
Yep.
Like, for example, like, hey, you mentioned about XYZ, and then you segue that into your next question, that what you're saying is about this. Now, you cannot talk about anything else outside of that also.
Yep.
So you're blocking possibility and you're funneling people down.
Exactly. The words and also the way you're asking your sub-communication. Now there's only 1, 2, 3 maximum different types of answers. But here's the thing. Either way, we know exactly how to get back into where we want to go depending on the answer they give me, right? So you said something like volatile. I said like volatile? So instead of saying, so I guess like when you say volatile, what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
Because the reason why, man, just ask the fucking question. I swear to God, it's like it's like a pet peeve. When closures is ask the question, you just repeat back the problem or the emotional keyword. Volatile, right? So you do that. And then after that, what happened was you give me something, but I want to go deeper into the problem. So how I learned from traditional like Jeremy, for example, is like, so has that had an impact on you? I did it that way and it worked. And obviously the way Jeremy does it is fucking brilliant. I just couldn't pull it off that way because I just felt a bit awkward. So what I do now is just like, what does that do? When I say that, it accomplishes the same outcome, but I feel a lot more conversational, more normal for me, right? That doesn't mean there's right or wrong way of doing it. That's how I like to do it. And so what does that do? It's like, oh, we can't grow the business.
Yeah.
Now you got to impact how the problem is affecting them, but also I feel normal doing it.
Yeah. I personally love the impact question rather than for the role play sake and just speeding things up. I said, what does that do for you personally? But I like to ask impact question because there's a certain, like you can pause. Has that had impacted you personally at all, if anything? Right? Like you can just literally pause and just have the tonality and just, I feel like it lands better for me personally for some reason.
Yeah.
One thing I was going to say is brain fog.
Brain fog. But I like doing this role play because there's no right or wrong way to doing it. It's just like what works best for you, right?
Yeah.
So here's how I believe. There's no the truth. There's only your truth.
Yeah.
All right. So that's my truth. June, how you do it, that's your truth. You know what I mean? So if you're watching to this right now, then you don't need to go like, oh, this way is the right way, this was the wrong way. It's like go test it out and then give enough volume and like see what works best for you because everyone's a bit different.
Yeah. And again, people think, okay, now this is what I was going to say because people like to justify the reason why you're asking the question and they think that works better. First of all, justify, like the moment that you justify your position means that you're lowering your status, right? You don't need to justify your position. It actually lands better, and people know that you're freaking interested if you make your questions concise and right on time also, right? Second thing is like, I mean, basically like you said something, you asked something, and then you add on something. Like people leech onto what you said later than the prior question. Hey, so how long have you been doing this? Because the reason why I'm asking you is because obviously you've been doing this for a long time. But
My
I guess
blood
for you,
pressure is rising. You're saying that.
what are you doing right now for a living? And then people forget the whole entire section that you said up front, and then they're answering the latter question now, because people's attention span like goes real quick, right? So never ask two questions. Just ask one question, right? Just do it the right way once for all.
Yep.
Two questions, they leach onto the latter one.
Yep.
That's why it's also like one good example is why is that important to you now also, right? People leech onto the now. And sometimes you don't want to use now. And why is it important? Why is that important to you? There are times where I don't use why is it important to you now. I say why is it important to you also. Because people leech onto the last part also.
100%. It's also how you say it, right? How I like to do it is if I want to emphasize that, for example, let's say, hey, the accountability is important to me. Then if I want to accentuate the item, which is accountability, then I was like, okay, why is the accountability, why is that so important to you now though? So why is pause, stutter, why is that pause important to you now though? So like I say it fast and I like lower kind of like, why is that important to you now though? Because like the important to you now though, it kind of like diminishes it and accentuates the that, which is the item to accountability. So different ways of doing it.
Yeah, tonality. Like I said, you can just literally like, I don't like this word, but cook your prospect up just with their tonality alone.
Yep.
Again.
Yeah.
And with asking the right question at the right timing, that is so like people know it. Easier said than done though. Easier said than done, really.
100%.
Takes a lot of trading.
Okay, so let's go through. Yeah, all right. Let's go through A-type prospects, right? Prospects. So what does A-type even mean? So it's that they're like,
don't know what it
hey,
means.
just tell me what the price is, or like those kind of people, right? It's like, hey, I know what you're doing. Get to the point. Let's role play that. I'll be that person because I'm good at being that prospect. So let's go through it. I'll be that person.
Okay. Hey, yeah, what got you interested in booking a call here today?
Yeah, I just wanted to get more info. I just saw the ad, so I'm a straight shooter, man. Okay. So I just want to see like what you guys have and like how much it is, and I can tell you.
You did. I mean, it looks like you're not the random type of guy that will book random meetings out of your own precious time. I guess for you, like, what are you looking to get out by having more information for you?
Just see if it's for me.
Fits for you?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I have a business.
Since you're looking for something that fits for you, like, let me ask you some questions. I guess for you, like, what are you looking to achieve with having more information and doing something like this? You know?
I mean, like we're all trying to grow our businesses, right?
I mean, I'm talking with you, no? Like, I'm not talking with everyone, you know? But with you growing your business, what's your business right now?
So I have a physical therapy business.
And how long have you been doing that for?
The whole time.
Okay, whole time in terms of what?
Probably like 20, 30 years.
20, 30 years.
Yep.
Okay, so that's a long time. I would actually play a joke, actually. So you're a new guy at the blog, actually. No, I'm just giving you a hard time here. Well, help me understand. Then how are you growing your business at the moment right now?
I mean, you know, referrals. Like we're probably the go-to clinic in town right now. But can you just tell me like how much it is and like
brother, I'm not that type of girl yet. Like you said, you want to have the right fit. I'm just trying to understand your situation. Just see if what we do is actually what you're looking for. Because what I found out is what we do here is not for everyone. But I guess for you, in terms of grow your business, right? Because I want to understand that. You mentioned that you're doing referrals. Why not just do that more? Why are you looking for outside help in the first place?
I mean, the thing with referrals is that it's not like a super reliable kind of source of leads, right?
What do you mean?
Don't get me wrong. Referrals, if you can get more, that's always great because when they come in, we don't have to do much selling, right? So they come in and they already heard great things about us. They just move on. It's just that there's only so many of them. So yeah, I saw your guys' ad about more like a consistent way of getting patients through the door. So just want to explore.
When you say consistent, right, with referrals, like, do you feel like it's not consistent enough for you?
I mean, referrals, I guess it's consistent. It's just not enough.
Not enough in what way?
In terms of volume.
Okay.
Yeah, we want more.
And then we can pause there. Okay. So not having enough volume right now, like how's that impacting the bottom line right now at the moment? I would ask that question.
Yeah.
But we could pause there for a second because, okay. So in terms of that, like, how did you feel about a prospect as a prospect, first of all?
In the beginning, I was playing the guys like, he's like mad and like hating his life for whatever reason. You know what I mean? They're like, give me the fucking price. But towards, I start to kind of more loosen up a little bit, kind of be more like eased up because, you're not phased. You seem like a friendly guy. You're just kind of like smiling. Yeah, like, it's almost like, let's see what's going on, right? You're not like combating back at them, but you're like, let's see what's going on. What about this? And then now what you're doing is you're kind of occupying their mind into that. Yeah. Right? They're like, and then I'm not answering it, and now you're getting caught up in the that's what you want, right? You want to buy time, and you want to get them engaged in the conversation. That way, they kind of forget about them wanting to price push and trying to get the information out.
So again, I speed it up intentionally just because we want to make it on time, first of all. But once you mentioned fit and you came with that energy, I use that language against you also. So since you're looking for fit, let me ask you a few questions over there also, because it's for you. So I set the tone that way. So, and you agreed. I mean, I didn't care even if you agreed on, honestly. I just moved on to the next question. In terms of like what you're doing now also and how long you've been doing that, what are you doing right now to grow your business? And then what I use is, hey, sis, you mentioned that you want to look for the right fit. Like, let me help you out. I'm not the type of girl, that would give you the price right away,
Yeah.
Buy me a drink first, right?
Yeah.
So I'll put like 2 jokes also. I'll just be playful as much as possible. Those jokes are, extremely trained jokes also, right? 20, 30 years. So what you're trying to do is exhibit dominance. Hey, I've been doing this for 20, 30 years.
Exactly.
So you're the new guy at the block. And then I'm like, just messing with you here.
Yeah.
And then I just moved on.
Sub-communication is so important, man. It's just like you're unfazed and because like a common mistake I found is like the salesperson hears something like that. Hey man, I know what you're doing. Get to the point. And then they're like, no. Well, I'm just trying to do this, right? And then now they hear that, they smell it. Sharks smell that shit. They see the blood, they go for it, and now they just fucking overpower you, or like they're not even listening. That's what happens. What you want to do is like, dude, like you gotta buy me a drink first.
Yeah.
So like, what are you doing to generate leads now?
So I don't have that much dating experience, but when a girl shit tests you, you're the expert. When a girl shit tests you, like if you actually react to that, what happens?
You're done.
Like, what is a shit test first? What is a shit test first of all?
Test is like I like that because like it comes from the dating world, but also on a sales call. I feel like sometimes like prospects just do that to see like what you would do. So they'll kind of do shit to try to get a reaction out of you, right? So a girl will say, for example, like, you say that to all the girls, right? So if a guy says like, oh no, baby, it's just you, then you're like the girl's like they're rolling their eyes, and you're like they start to lose respect for you. But something you can say is like, like my grandma, my mom, so a lot of girls, I guess. If you're saying that like you're playing as a joke, you're not phased, you're making a joke out of it, so nothing is a big deal. How does it translate into a sales context? Exactly what Jun did, right? Brother, you gotta buy me a drink first, dinner first, right? We gotta get to know what your situation is first. So like to see the fits, what are you doing to generate leads now?
Exactly. Because having the right fit for you as a A-type prospect was important. Then would it be totally unreasonable for me to ask you the right questions then?
Exactly.
To find the right fit?
You're aligning what they want and what you're trying to do, and like you're going in the right direction.
Yeah. So I was like, help me, brother. Help me understand here, right? Help me understand. I'm asking for, and if you're asking help with a smile and give a reason behind it also, right? Because whatever bullshit you're asking for and bullshit reason backed it up, like people tend to comply more also. And I asked it with a smile, asking for help.
Yeah.
Like it's very, very hard for you to, of course, does it work 100% of the time?
I think it works 100%.
There are times where the prospect is just having a really bad day, or his personality is so fucked up like that, But, if I do it this way, if someone does it this way, playfully, with a smile, and you would just prevent from these type of, answers happening in the first place.
100%. Nothing works 100% of the time. We just want to stack the deck in our favor, right?
Exactly.
And so also what I like to do, and also neither of us are mindset guys, but what is important, because I used to kind of struggle with this too. Whenever a person hops on, I'm kind of scared, like I get caught off guard. And I talked to Jeremy Miner about this, and then Jeremy was like, oh, Brian, who has the problem? I said, them. Oof. And who has the solution? I'm like, us. So if they have the problem, we have the solution. Why should you be afraid?
But they have the money.
I know,
I'm just
but
kidding,
when
I'm
I,
just kidding, I'm just kidding.
I theoretically understood that, but when Jeremy said that to me that one time, I was like, oh, that makes fucking perfect sense. Because like, and Matt said this too. Matt's like, mate, if you do your process, I'm gonna try to talk like Matt, like a Matt impression, right? Mate, if you do your process to the best availability, and then you throw the kitchen sink at them, and they decide to stay at sales, who cares? So just insert for if you follow your process to the best of your ability at that time, throw the kitchen sink at them, really try, right? They decide to stay fat. They decide to not have girls. They decide to not grow their business. Who cares?
Yeah. And you could even point it out. Hey, pause first for a second also. Hey, you seem like a really good guy and you know what you're looking for, but it seems like I just caught you on a bad day. It's my bad here. So let's do this. My apologies. Let's just book in another time that works for you because I don't want to ruin your day today also even more. So let's have it when you're actually having a call, like calm, peaceful mind also.
Yeah. I also like to like a quick throw in like what I do as well. So if a prospect's being vague or like they're trying to keep like pushing for information, for example, they're like, how much does it cost? I'll kind of do those kind of loops, like kind of what June did, like a couple of times. If they keep doing it for the third time for whatever reason, usually does not. But if they do, then I'll be like, hey brother, so we have different solutions that our clients use, and so if we don't understand your situation, and I just assume throw into a random one that's not really going to benefit you, would you be happy with that? They're like, no. So why would you want me to just assume and throw into something that you're going to be happy with? They're like, okay, so would it be crazy if we got a better understanding? Because the last thing we want is that you're not happy, because if you're not happy, we're not happy.
It's coming from a place of care again. Like it's not like, hey, my agenda. You're coming from a place of care again. Hey, I care about you enough and I respect you enough to respect your time and give you the right solutions, right? You're communicating that also. Hey, I care about you enough to ask these questions. You need to answer it also then, right? So, yeah, I need to give you opportunity to also role play. So, A-type?
Yeah, let's go through it.
Yeah, just 3 minutes. Let's get it done in 3 minutes.
So I'll be like, yeah, brother. So let's do like what example? Let's do a biz op example this time, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so I'll be like, yeah, brother. Like, do you know what you're looking for when it comes to what you want out of a business?
I don't know. I just saw the ad and just it looked interesting. And just like, I don't know. I've been shopping around, it seems all the same,
Okay, you got all the shopping bags around your house. All right, cool. So like, what kind of outcome are you trying to achieve from having a business?
I'm making more money. You guys promised a lot of things. So I just want to make more money,
It's not a promise until you put a pinky promise and put a ring on it. You know what I mean? So what are you doing for a living now? Like, what are you trying to make more money?
I'm a driver.
Okay, what are you driving? You driving like Ferraris? You driving like trucks? Like, what are you doing?
Just trucks,
Okay, how long have you been doing that?
For about 20 years. I don't know why you're asking these questions though.
Just get a better understanding, brother. Like, do you like it?
Do you like what?
You driving trucks?
I mean, that's okay.
Okay, well let's go through the positives. Like, it can't be all bad. So, what do you like about your job?
I mean, I love driving. I
Okay.
love driving.
Sounds like it's going on Gucci. Try to like price push me, right? So ask me like, hey, like how much does it cost? Like, try to push me.
Like cut the bullshit. Like I want to know the price.
Yeah, for sure, brother. We'll go through all that at this stage. We don't know if we can help you yet. So we'll have to first understand like if you have a problem. If so, if that matches up with their solution. So would it be totally crazy if we first understood that?
I guess not.
Okay, so like you like the driving part. So is there anything you would change about either the type of work you do, or I guess the financial or time freedom you're getting from that? If
It's
you could,
just very labor intensive.
labor intensive.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like labor intensive in terms of like I drive like 12 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Oh, how long you been doing those hours for? The whole time?
I mean, the whole time.
Okay, and what does that do to you?
I mean, it makes my mentality stronger. I mean, I just feel like I have a better mindset. I'm a hustler.
Well, dude, I can tell you're fucking crushing it, but how does it actually affect you though?
How does that actually impact me? Oh, yeah. I mean, like sometimes I get tired. Sometimes I get sleepy.
Tiring
also.
in what way?
Tired in terms of just, I'm just doing the same thing over and over again.
That's all right, man. You're a single guy.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I got kids.
Oh, how old?
7 years old and 3 years old.
You're in the thick of it.
I'm in the thick of it.
Yeah, good thing about little kids is they stay little for a very long time, right?
I want to say that. Do you have kids?
Not that I know of. But like I mean, my nieces, for example, right? They're one Christmas party they're down to my knees. Next Christmas party they're up to my shoulders. You know what I mean? So you being away 72 hours a week away from your children, how do you feel about that?
Oh, I don't feel good about it.
Boom.
Savage.
That got
Good
deep.
job. That got deep. That got deep. The deeper, the better.
So when you can, I ask that, especially if you clearly can tell that this guy has a family, they have kids. It's all right. You're a single guy.
Yeah.
So what does it do? It's like reverse psychology thing, right? If you want
Yeah.
to look at it that way, they're like, no, dude, I have kids. I have a family. Oh, so you act surprised. You're like, oh, how old? Yeah. How old to parents? Super fucking powerful question. How old are they? Because to them, their children are fucking everything, right?
Yeah.
So especially if they're little, most of the times they are kind of little. And if they're like, 1, 2, 7, or whatever it may be, good thing about little kids is they stay little for a very long time, right? And everyone's gonna say, no, man. Why? Because what's the cliche saying all the dads say? They grow up so fast.
And what I did there intentionally as a prospect was, do you have kids? Like trying to play the power play. Oh, you don't have kids, so you don't understand my situation type of power play. And you were like, not that I know of. Also, you did a self-deprecating joke over there, and actually it raised your status also.
100%.
It built trusted authority again.
Yeah. I always say that. Do you have kids? Not that I know of. Hopefully not.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what happens. So we'll pretty much wrap it up there. Anything else you want to say?
No, that was a good.
That's pretty much it. All right, so go try this out. Practice it, rewatch. You know what I mean? Maybe write it out. Jun's got his Tate sunglasses.
We're going to the beach club after
June
this.
Tate. You know what I mean? So if you enjoyed this, smash those like button, subscribe, share it to your sales homies. Go try it out. Let us know how it goes. See you in the next episode.
Peace. Ciao.